right, everybody. What's up? This is your boy DJ, aka I keep doing that. it's your boy Darren, aka DJ Shadow, and welcome to 3D Rivals, where we talk about movies and comic books and anything in between. I am joined by my siblings, Derrick.
Hey, what's going on? This is Derrick.
And my lovely sister,
Donna.
Welcome, Donna.
So, yeah, not a fancy name this week. What was it, 2 weeks ago? You had Donatella?
I had Donatella. This week is Donna.
All right, that's cool, Donna. So this week we're going to be doing something a little different. We have our Superhero Battle Royale, and we'll explain the rules to that when we get to it. But it should be fun, so stay tuned for that. Also, we'll talk about the end of the Wolverine podcast, The Long Night. Some real cool information about that. But before we get started, of course, I have news. Sorry about that. So, well, I had to grab the news.
Sorry, we don't have secretaries to come and bring in our news items.
We should just hire a whole person, and she just brings me the news. So first bit of news, Jude Law talks about how secrecy works over at Marvel. This is funny. So basically he said they told him, don't you effing ever tell anyone anything about this. And he was comparing it to, cause he's in one of those Harry Potter movies that's coming up. And, that's a British movie. So in that, they were just like, yeah, we trust that you're not going to say anything about the movie. And this, he's just like, Marvel is basically like, don't tell anybody about this ever.
So basically, they threatened his life, his wife and kids.
There's definitely a
we
Marvel
know the school
police.
your son is at. If you want little Johnny to continue playing soccer, you will keep quiet.
Marvel is like a mafia. There's definitely a Marvel police, and if you do anything, they're gonna like take your life, and you can never be in a Marvel movie ever again. And they're probably gonna blacklist you from every other movie.
Yeah, there's definitely something. They keep a wraps under everything. What I found interesting about this one, though, is we still don't know who Jude Law is in this movie.
I thought he was playing Marvel.
Well, that's the thing. It hasn't been officially released who his character is.
Oh.
He can't say it because his wife is tied up in the basement.
So, that's so wrong. So my thing is, I don't know if he is Marvel, because otherwise, why have such a big secrecy around it? Or maybe they just want to play with us. I don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, I guess we'll find out soon enough. Captain Marvel is in theaters in February, so that should be fine.
Wait, I thought it was March.
Oh, March. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is
Lord.
March. I said February. My bad. I was going to be looking for that in February. Like, where's Captain Marvel?
Dude, don't nothing come out in February.
Deadpool did.
Black Panther.
Oh, that's right. Black Panther
That's
did.
because it was Black History Month. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, they did do it because of that.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, okay, dude. All right. Next bit of news. The Eternals movie is set to start production next September and be released November 2020.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, we talked about it a little while ago. So Marvel has the Eternals on the slate. They're like the people who created the Celestials or something like that.
Still don't know who that is.
Yeah, so basically the Eternals is like the elder gods. So they on the same level of like the Collector, the guy from Thor Ragnarok. I forget his name. What was technically his name? Is it? I don't know, but he's part of the elder gods too. So that's what the Eternals are.
Oh, you mean the Grand Master? Yeah.
Yeah, Grandmaster. Yes. Yeah, so they're all are elder gods. And basically like their role is for them to continue to live for eternity. They have to find like a hobby or something and they have to continue with that hobby to continue to live forever.
What?
So I get to live forever if I like play chess forever? Like what?
It's something weird like that, but that's why like the Grandmaster, he holds those champions. That's his hobby. His hobby is to find people across the universe to fight each other to prove who is the strongest in the universe.
Is that why Ian, that's not his name. That was his name in Jurassic Park. The Grandmaster was played by Jeff Goldblum in Thor, right?
Yes.
So I felt like it was kind of random for him to be like Jeff Goldblum to have such a random small part in the movie. So did he do that so he can have a major part in this Eternal movie?
That could be possible.
Is he in the Eternals movie?
We don't know yet. There's no cast or anything.
Okay.
But that is interesting. I didn't know that about the Eternals, so that's why he's called the Grandmaster, and the other one's called the Collector because he collects things.
Yeah, that's his hobby.
Okay.
That's his hobby. His hobby is to collect things.
This movie sounds real stupid.
No, the Eternals is dumb, but the movie might be decent.
I mean, that's interesting. So I didn't know that included the Grandmaster and the Collector. So maybe this would be a movie that takes place in the past. If they have those two in it, I think that would be real interesting. So now this sounds more interesting to me, at least.
I'm going to have to pass on that one.
You can't pass on a Marvel movie.
Nope, just tell me what it's about.
We just told you what it's about.
I still don't want to see it, so.
Fine.
Yeah, so like another thing like with the Eternals is like with the Skrull and Kree, like they were the first ones to like experiment on them. So it's just like that's where like you have some of their super beings from. But of course, it's like when they come to Earth and want to start doing experiments on people, you know, that there's people on Earth like, wait, hold on. No, we can't let you do this, you know, and stuff like that. So that's kind of a little bit of their backstory.
Okay. I'll see what they doing there. Alrighty. Next bit of news. So analysts believe the success of Venom means the end of the Disney-Sony agreement.
How's that?
Well, apparently, since Venom did so well, Sony now has trust in their Spider-Man property again. So now they believe, I mean, this isn't concrete, but, you know, the way that Sony works, they believe the success means Sony's going to back out of the deal because they don't need Marvel anymore to make good movies.
But I thought they said Venom wasn't really a good movie. Like, it made money, but it wasn't, like, a good movie.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie to watch, but, like, writing-wise, it was pretty bad.
So I feel like that's not, like, you back out this deal and then you're still going to be throwing out trash like The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's the same people, like, the same people that's behind the other Spider-Man movies. They haven't gotten rid of these people. Like, the directors have changed, but it's the same producers and things that's behind it. And to me, I don't think this is going to last very long. Like, Venom was all right, but it definitely needs some things to be fixed in order for you to make a universe off of it.
Right, yeah. I hope this rumor is unfounded because, like, all right, cool, you made money, but you still didn't put out a quality material. So for you to be like, oh, we made money, because then, like, the next one won't be good, and you might not make that money because they were like, you didn't fix what was wrong with it to begin with.
Right, and I also read something that was saying, like, in connection with Spider-Man, that for them to, like, exit out altogether, it wouldn't make sense. Because it's like, technically, after this next Spider-Man movie, they can make their own Spider-Man movie. Even though he signed what's his name?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland is signed on to be in multiple movies. It doesn't have to be a Spider-Man movie. And so they're saying, like, since Venom turned out to be decent, that they might make their own Spider-Man movie. And people are like, dude, that it will be crazy. You make your own Spider-Man movie outside of the MCU. And it was like, not only will that be crazy and dumb to do, and like, it won't even make sense. You're going to confuse people who are not familiar with comic books. It's just like, wait, hold on. Now we just have a random standalone Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, general audiences, I think, would get confused with that, especially if you're using Tom Holland for it. And Marvel's not going to take credit for anything Sony outputs that's not a part of this deal. So, because Sony tried to force Venom on them, and Marvel, they declined that. They're like, no, this is not a part of our universe. So I don't know. It would be a bad idea to do it. And I hope Sony doesn't, because then they're going to ruin a lot. But I had the thought. Now, I don't know how the contract with Sony and Marvel went when they gave him Spider-Man. But I wonder if the MCU, like if Sony backs out, I wonder if they can use Spider-Man in TV, like for this Disney streaming service.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, yeah. That'd be nice. Like having it be its own show. And I mean, I know they have tried it in the past of trying to make Spider-Man like a regular canon show. And I mean, with it being with their Disney streaming service and Marvel being behind it, I could see that actually working.
That sounds real expensive, though.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, the rest of the TV shows are expensive, too. Because they said that, like, the Scarlet Witch, Loki, and the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV shows, those are going to have movie budgets. So, it's not going to be TV CGI and stuff like that. That's why they're short series, though, like 8 episodes. But, yeah, so they're definitely going to be expensive to make, but they'll be high quality. I think Disney's counting on making some money off of it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that sounds like, to me, Spider-Man will be real expensive to do. I mean, you got to do 8 episodes of, like, a lot of CGI, a lot of, I don't know. It doesn't seem logical to me.
I mean, yeah, I feel you. I guess you're right, because his suit has to be CGI.
Yeah.
Whereas the other people, they're not. Falcon isn't CGI, neither is Winter Soldier. I mean, not a lot. They do some touch-up, but yeah, I guess you're right. That would be expensive. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't even know if the deal would allow something like that, but I just want some contingencies if Sony does something stupid,
Right, yeah.
Next bit of news here. Toy Story 4. That's going to be coming out, so they're working on that. What do you guys think about that?
I didn't know they were doing this, but apparently they just got done shooting it. And so, I mean, I'm always down for Toy Story, so I hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Toy Story. They can probably come out with like Toy Story 10. I mean, who doesn't love a story about toys coming to life? I mean, every kid thought that when they're not around, their toys come to life.
Yeah, and the adults are definitely going to see this too, because, we all grew up with Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Which were all very good movies. They haven't failed on those. And then Tom Hanks had something to say about it. He said it is a moment in history. That's how he described the movie. He said it was a moment in history. So this sounds like it's going to be real good.
Does that mean like they all die or something? Because, like, spoiler. I don't know who hasn't seen Toy Story 3, but if you haven't, that scene when they were like all headed towards a little fire and
yeah,
I was like, that was like intense, and I'm like, are they getting ready to kill Woody also? Like, is that what's about to happen in Toy Story 4? Like, they don't get saved at the last minute or something?
I don't know, but yeah, that did come to mind too. That scene, because man, like I remember watching that. I'm like, oh my god, like they're going to kill him. Like, what? This is not how this ends.
This is very traumatic for a kids movie. Like, the movie ends with everyone dying.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. So Tim Allen had something to say about it too, and he says it is as emotional as Infinity War.
So they definitely die at the end then.
Or do they?
You think they're just doing this to get our interest piqued and like nothing happens at all in this movie?
Would it be just emotional if the boy dies?
Who, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
You can't kill Andy.
See?
Why would they kill Andy? What What? No.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that a traumatic experience that you wouldn't want to happen in Toy Story?
Oh, dude,
awful.
it's not even about the humans. Why would you?
It would be sad, wouldn't it? See, y'all didn't think about that.
Okay.
That's horrible. That's horrible. You can't kill Andy. I think they have a toy Infinity Gauntlet and somebody snaps the fingers. And so they just all start turning to dust.
Buzz just slowly to infinity, Ambi.
You have Rex. Woody, I don't feel so good. I don't want to go. No.
You know what? I think you guys are wrong. I think they're just doing this. Be like, oh, y'all didn't know we were doing Toy Story 4, but we are. And you got to go see it because it's going to be, just emotional. And it's probably not going to be.
It might be. I mean, the third one technically was emotional. Doesn't mean someone has to die. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be pretty good, Yeah. Toy Story is always at the top of my list.
So that comes out, what, next year?
I didn't see a release date for it, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I do believe it's probably late 2019, early 2020.
Although when they moved Wonder Woman, it moved to a spot with an unknown Pixar movie, so it could be that.
Oh.
And I said what Wonder Woman was June 2020. Mm-hmm. But that seems a long time for a movie that finished production.
Yeah, a whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine next summer or next Christmas, probably.
Yeah.
That's a good time for these kids' movies to come out when the kids are out of school and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Or around the holidays.
That's what I said. Christmas is a holiday, right?
You said Chris.
He
said
did.
Christmas.
Are you not paying? What you doing?
Yes, I said Christmas. He's over here on his phone. I don't know.
Goodness.
Sliding up into somebody's DMs.
I was going to say something about that, but
this is how I get rapid news for you guys right away. I'm constantly looking at stuff.
Lies. You probably like checking the score of some random game.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, if that's the thing, DJ Shadow, what's on my screen?
Okay, I just saw you change the screen. Don't even. He's gonna sit here like, oh, I was looking up stuff about Toy Story. No, dude.
I can't even.
No, he can't say that because he just changed the screen.
Okay, so what is our next topic for today?
Yeah, guilty. So yeah, we were mentioning that the podcast we talked about before, Wolverine, that's getting a second season. So the first season was very good, and so they're going to be renewing that. And I think Donna did you have some stuff to talk about the second season?
Yeah, so the second season will come out in the winter of 2019, so a year from now. And, of course, it starts off on Stitcher Premium, so us poor folk won't get it until, like, May or August. But it's going to take place in Louisiana. It's going to feature, of course, Wolverine, Mastermind, Gambit, somebody named Bonnie Roach, and there was another person who I don't know who these people are. Marcus Baptiste. I don't know who these people are, but those are the characters that will be in the podcast.
Okay, so Gambit's pretty cool. Isn't Mastermind? Isn't he one of the guys? He's like Professor X, right?
I don't know. His real name is Jason Weingard, aka Mastermind, and Wolverine is looking for his girl Marine. All his girls always disappear and die, so that's sad.
Oh, that's the girl he was calling in the first one.
Yeah. Okay. So he went to Louisiana to look for her, and she ain't there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Weapon X is still going after him.
Of course. When are they not going after him?
Yes. Yeah, so I'll have to Google who some of these characters are, but I don't know. I mean, the first one was really good, so I'll be looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, okay. I'm surprised it's 2019. Like, geez, that's a long time.
it's probably not even in production though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I feel like they just like, oh, we should do another one because it was so good. And since the first season just ended for the the worldwide release of it,
Yeah.
they had to see like how it does around everyone else, and it seems to be pretty popular among all viewers. So.
Okay. All right. And Derek, you got something on Mastermind?
Yeah. It says with Mastermind. He was originally recruited by Magneto to be in the Brotherhood. He's a professional criminal and a carnival mentalist.
Oh.
That's what it says.
I don't know what that means. What his power is?
He casts illusions, limited memory manipulation. Everyone within the range of his power, which can extend over an entire city, can see his illusions. So that's how far his illusions go. I mean, he's just a regular person. Like normal. He can pass as a normal human. He doesn't look any differently or anything. But yeah, that's basically his powers. He can cast illusions where people take it as being real. Like they don't know that it's not reality.
So like Mysterio.
I was thinking that Mysterio is the bubblehead guy from Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
That is what it reminded me of.
All right. So he's like Mysterio, except for his power works further.
Yeah.
A whole city? That's massive, a city.
Yeah. But the thing is, the illusion is in the person's mind. Outside of like Mysterio, the illusion is actually going on.
Right.
With him, the person is thinking that this is going on. So it's like me sitting in this chair, but I'm thinking I'm flying in an airplane or something crazy like that.
Okay, so his is more like a hallucination, and Mysterio is a illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all right.
That's very interesting. So yeah, so him, Gambit, and what did I say? Jason Baptiste,
something
guy.
like that.
Yeah, don't know who that is. But
Jason Baptiste sounds familiar. If you give me a second, I can look that up too.
Let me make sure his first name was indeed Jason. I might have screwed that up. Where I lost Marcus. It was not even close.
We just giving you guys all kind of wrong news.
I read it first when I read it off the thing.
Okay, Marcus. Yeah, that's not even close to Jason.
He might not be a real person. He might be someone they made up for the podcast.
Okay, yeah, that's true. All right, so to segue into our next topic, a nice clean segue, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it not a clean segue anywhere? All right. So let's talk about the entire first season of Wolverine's podcast. It's Wolverine: The Long Night, which I don't think the second one's going to be called that.
Oh no, it's called The Lost Trail. Did I not mention that? It's the Lost Trail.
No, you didn't.
Sorry.
All right. So the second season is Wolverine: The Lost Trail. Okay. Yeah. So The Long Night. We'll start talking about that and see how everybody enjoyed it. We'll start with Donna. So what's up?
I thought it was good. There were some surprises and there were things that I had I think we talked about before, things I figured out this whole thing about to be spoilers, so if you ain't listened to it, I'm about to tell you how it go. I knew the agents, so I was like, they're definitely members of Weapon X. I just feel like the FBI would not be looking for Wolverines. I feel like they were definitely Weapon X. I was surprised about the fact that they were Sentinels. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that I was like, what? So, so at the end, it was last episode, they just threw this bombshell at us that they weren't even human, they were Sentinels, so they were robots, which when you look back at it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Because she told them, or I think Bobby mentioned to the sheriff that they didn't eat or something like that.
Yeah.
And she didn't get help at the hospital when she got shot.
Yeah, that, and there's they had a mutant scanner, which I thought because they had all this fancy technology. They're because they're robots. Yeah, so I thought that was only thing I didn't like. I felt like the ending for the cult was just kind of anticlimactic,
Yeah, I thought that the cult would have had more things involved, but basically it was nothing. Dude, it was just crazy, and it was actually literally a cult.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know it was literally a call. I just felt like, I don't know, I thought their ending might mean more. And the fact that she just shot the dude and ended it was just like, oh, okay. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, that was let's talk about the cult ending and the regular ending of it a little bit later. Because I agree with you on that. But I realized another thing with them being Sentinels. Yeah, the mutant scanner. Because they mentioned, they were trying to figure out, they figured out that the person killing people wasn't Wolverine because it was impossible after a certain point.
Yeah.
And they're like, it couldn't be another mutant, otherwise it would have shown up. And when they said that, I was like, well, how did they get, like, mutant scanning stuff? I'm like, okay, wow, that's interesting. But then they're Sentinels, and I'm like, oh, of course. So they wouldn't know whoever they're talking to, whether or not they're a mutant.
Right. I thought, like, that's how it's, like, solidified, like, okay, you're not, because the FBI, like, why would they have mutant scans? So I'm like, okay, you're definitely Weapon X, and I thought they just had, like, some outside technology that searches everyone if they're a mutant or not. But it's like you said, it's like everyone they talked to, they knew off rip if they were a mutant or not.
I thought it was interesting, too, that them being part of Weapon X, but then also they were Sentinels.
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow, Weapon X employed Sentinels.
That got me, too, because in the comics, they're not connected, correct?
No, they're not.
That's what I thought when I was listening to it.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting twist.
Yeah. So it was just like, when they were trying to find this killer, so it was just like, so the dude wasn't a mutant.
No, he is.
Or it didn't show up until he changes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought that was an interesting twist to it as well. Because if they could have, then he would have showed up right away. But they were just as surprised as everybody else of him being able to transform.
Yeah, that was interesting. And yeah, we'll definitely talk about that too. Him, the actual killer. And then what was the guy Sentinel's name? I forget. Tad. It was Tad, I think. So yeah, man. So at the end of this, he ends up dying because they wanted information out of him, and I guess he turned nice.
Yeah, I guess he's like all robots develop feelings and decided to help Wolverine instead of bringing him in.
Yeah.
And pretty much as she played the dude, and I was like, oh, dude, you talking way too much. She is not on your side.
Yeah, man. Oh, I was kind of upset. I actually liked him throughout the story. And then actually now her personality makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because she was always matter of fact and straight to the point. And since she's a robot, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
I thought it was cool too. About him, I think she made mention that he made some changes to himself, so he can actually feel more. Because I guess he was supposed to be the one that where everybody is supposed to relate to. He was supposed to be the nice, the kind one, the one to, I guess like good cop, bad cop. She the bad cop, he's the good cop type thing. So he made some changes to his own software.
Yeah, I mean, another thing, him using the fidget spinner. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was like a quirk they gave him or or something. I thought it was weird that like in every episode they're just like, stop with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's talk about the Langrocks, because I feel like this is the next biggest thing at the end of the story. So, we went through the story, and the Langrocks, they were the rich family, and obviously they were running drugs, and that's what Wolverine got mad about. They mentioned in the first episode it was drugs on the boat where the people got killed. And they were pushing to it to sound like the killer was the one brother that was a hunter. But you know what? I always thought, I'm like, it's not going to be him. Like the first time they introduced the other brother and the way he interacted with his father, I was like, it's going to be this dude.
See, I didn't get that. I thought it would either be, what's the brother's name, Brent or something?
Yeah, Brent.
Or the father.
Brett.
Like, the fact that he transformed into, like, a mutant was not surprising. I guessed that off rip. I was like, it has to be someone transforming into this thing, killing these girls. I thought it was either going to be the father or Brent.
Yeah,
So the fact that it was Hudson was kind of surprising.
I definitely thought it was possibly the father.
Yeah.
And, because, like, he kept, like, in interviews and questionings and stuff, like, he kept losing control, but, like, trying to keep it together. And then, like, when people would say, like, oh, well, you really don't know Mr. Landrock, because he did this. When his son did this, he made him do this. So I'm just like, all right, this dude could be doing it. But yeah, they were pretty good. I didn't think about it being Hudson at all.
Yeah, well, when they had the Brent take down a bear, I was like, okay, it might be this dude, And then I did, like you, Donna, I did figure it was somebody transforming. For a second there, I even thought, like, maybe Wolverine was transforming, because he had that one thing where you say he would come back and say, oh, what did I do,
Right.
Stuff like that. So I was like, okay, is he going feral or something like that? But I knew it had to be somebody changing from, the regular form. And when it came down to be Hudson, that was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was the way that they revealed it, though. I think that was awesome, with, like, him using the taxidermist to kind of hide his bodies, the heads of the bodies and stuff like that. That was crazy.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I was just like, and I was like, it made me think of, like, the classic serial killer. They have to keep trophies. So he was using the heads as trophies.
Yeah, that's weird, but yes.
So, yeah, let's talk about Hudson. So, the reason why he's crazy.
Because his daddy's crazy, basically.
Yeah. I mean, this dude told him, I knew you were going to be a monster when you were born. Stuff like that. Like,
yeah, it's basically like his father just didn't love him and mistreated him his entire time. And so,
yeah.
He got his attention.
Yeah, he told him, what did he tell him? He said, when you were born, the doctor asked if I wanted to hold you, and I said no.
Yeah.
Like, jeez, man.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy too. And then the whole thing about what it was saying, like the brother had him with a chain and a leash and stuff. I was just like, dude, like, and the father was just okay with it because he was weak and he needed to be strong like Brant.
Yeah, and then when his brother would tie him up and put him in the trunk while he went on his dates or whatever.
Yeah, just all this weird, crazy stuff that. So yeah, he was like, what, hurting every girl that his brother went out with or something like that?
Yeah, anything that would hurt him.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then he finally killed his brother.
Yeah.
And then, how did he tried to kill himself. Is that when he first transformed?
Yeah, that's what was mentioned.
So I wonder how that works, because they say the mutant abilities come out during trauma or during like the puberty years or something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess
I feel like trying to commit suicide is pretty traumatic.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking maybe that's why they couldn't trace him as a mutant. Like that's the reason why his gene doesn't show up until he transforms, because if he lived his life normally, maybe he never would have shown his mutant ability. Yeah,
I think they said it was like maybe like a latent genetic. I forgot the exact words, but it was just pretty much just like it's kind of like a dormant kind of thing. So it's not like he's not always actively a mutant.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, besides him going crazy and murdering people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also the attack on the girls. It made mention, he said that his brother would put him in the trunk of the car.
Are you paying attention?
Oh, y'all said that?
Yes.
Oh.
Derrick, are you still sliding up into someone's DMs here?
Goodness. I mean, we said it like 2 seconds ago.
I'm still... I'm still reading on the MCU stuff.
Man, okay. You probably are, but like we were having a conversation. What kind of best man? You're fired, dude. You're fired.
Yes. Next week, we will replace our brother with another one.
We're gonna do that. Definitely, yeah. We'll have another sibling on 3D Rivals here. Derrick is, as of today, fired.
Yep. We gave you so many chances. It's over.
So many chances. Good Lord. All right. So next point about the end of this. Okay, let's talk about the cult because we didn't really talk about
the ending of it. Makes me feel like the cult was so irrelevant. Like, they did not have to add them. You know what I mean? It's like they built up thinking it was going to be something, and then it wasn't, and it just ended up being stupid. And I felt like they could have dealt without the cult the entire time.
I think the cult was put in there as a diversion in the story.
But it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, there were times where you could have thought, like, maybe that dude was behind it, or maybe he was controlling some mystical creature or something.
I never thought that.
Yeah, well, no, I think they did throw him in there as a kind of a diversion because, you know, the one girl was a part of the cult or something. I think two of them had something to do with the cult.
Yeah, they did.
So in the beginning, I think they wanted you to think that, oh, they're the ones doing all this crazy stuff. But yeah, it didn't last long, and I think for a few episodes, they weren't even really a part of it.
Right.
So, yeah. The ending,
she just shot him, and that was
pretty
like,
much.
oh, okay, and that was it.
Yeah. But one of the girls that died was a part of the cult.
Dude.
Or
You're seriously fired. Like you're most definitely fired. What? What? Like literally, like 2 seconds ago. 2 seconds ago.
yeah, what Donna said.
She's not even the one that said it. Yeah. So anyhow, the cults at the end of this. Yeah, so okay, so the girl sentinel, I keep forgetting her name. What's her name?
I don't know.
Okay. The lady sentinel, she was protecting the sheriff in the hospital because the cult wanted to use him as their sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So they were just crazy. Like,
basically,
it had nothing to do with anything at all. There was nothing real. They were just crazy. And they wanted to sacrifice Brett, but I guess he got killed by his brother, so they wanted to sacrifice the sheriff. And they couldn't, and they were going to get him, and the Lady Sentinel just shot him, basically.
yeah, and that was just kind of like the end.
That was it. The rest of the cult ran away.
I do agree with y'all on the ending with that, because it's just like, okay, she shoots him and then that's it. Because he asked her, you know, oh, so then what else happened? They didn't know what to do, so they dispersed. Like, what? So he's dead. They no longer want to kill the sheriff now? Like, I thought that ending was weird with the cult.
Yeah, and it was kind of weak.
Yeah, that was very weak. I would say that was the biggest negative part about this podcast and the ending. They hyped it up, and it didn't come through. Yeah. So then the actual ending. So Tad, or the male sentinel, or the guy sentinel, whatever, he ended up helping Wolverine. So he ran into Wolverine at the hospital, which it doesn't explain why Wolverine was there.
I was like, I need to re-listen to the 9th episode to find out why he was in the basement of the hospital. I don't remember, but that's where the guy found him at. So I was like, I was definitely going to re-listen to that part because I'm like, I must have missed something.
Yeah, when I was thinking the same thing, you know, I was like, why would he have been there. Because I'm just like, was he there to protect the sheriff from the cult?
Oh, no, I figured it out. Wolverine was with Bobby when they blew up the Langrock's house.
Yeah.
So Bobby was in the hospital, so Wolverine had to be the one to take him there.
And he was still there after...
I guess so.
Okay.
He decided to hide in the basement afterwards. It makes sense.
Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good... Yeah. That theory makes sense, Darren. That theory makes sense.
So he goes with the Sentinel, and not much happens. They don't fight, even though they describe a fake fight in the beginning. And then I didn't think this was true. Like, Wolverine says the only thing that can kill him is water.
That he can drown? You don't think... I think Wolverine can definitely drown.
That makes sense.
It makes sense, but I feel like if he's fished out of the water, his body is just going to heal itself and he comes back.
Not if he dies before he can heal.
Correct.
We've seen Wolverine get all of his skin blown off.
He didn't die, though. I feel like if he dies...
You would die.
If
you're reduced down to your skeleton, you die.
Yes.
Technically, yes.
So how did you come back from that?
Because his brain was still moving.
Yes, his brain is still in his skull.
Makes no sense, but okay. So, yeah, I guess the drowning does make sense. That's the only way you can die.
I think that is like the only way you could kill him. I've always thought that.
That's how I took that the Sentinel was lying. Because it was saying, oh, yeah, I just held him underwater. And then with her saying, really? That's we've been chasing this dude for years, and this is how you kill him? Yeah, I was like, all right, this dude, he lying.
I mean, he is really heavy. You know?
Yeah.
We talk, this dude, Wolverine, like, took out a whole bunch of people on a boat with ease. And we talking about a Sentinel that has no fighting ability. Drowned this dude.
Yeah, that's another thing, too. He said he hit him on the head with a rock.
That's how I knew he was like, no, you didn't.
Because, first of all, that wouldn't do anything to Wolverine.
It wouldn't.
But make him angry.
It's like his skull is adamantium, so I don't think it would knock him out. I mean, maybe, but I don't think it will. So, yeah, that was obviously a lie. But I think they wanted you to know it was a lie anyway.
Yeah.
Because she was accusing him of lying, so... So basically, what really happened is they went to a bunker and they talked.
Basically. They had a whole share your feelings moment.
I know. I was like, what is with this random bromance? And then I'm just like, why is Wolverine just spilling it to the Sentinel that he found out? Because like, oh, I knew you were Sentinels. I could smell your tin can anywhere. You know? And then also, what was with the Sentinel sympathizing with Wolverine? I was just like, okay, this is random.
Because he has feelings.
Yeah, and you got to think, he's not the Sentinel employed by the government. So, like, the government Sentinels, they just want to kill mutants. These Sentinels have been programmed not to kill mutants, but they just wanted to get Wolverine back to Weapon X.
That's a good point. Like, their one mission was to find Wolverine. So it wasn't their job to destroy all mutants. I mean, maybe since this is happening like earlier, we haven't gotten to that point where they're using them to kill mutants yet, you know?
Right.
So it's probably just, hey, we need this technology to find this guy.
Right.
So yeah, because they didn't want him dead.
Right. And that's because Weapon X, and I mean, this is an ongoing, continued thing. Wolverine is the only successful, test subject of Weapon X where Antimanium has bonded completely with his skeleton. And they want to continue to run tests to see if they can duplicate it on other people. But they need Wolverine alive to do that.
Yeah, apparently they even use other people with healing factors, and it didn't work. Like, you need one that's like Wolverine's, because he's got the highest healing factor, I think. No, Deadpool does.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, they're not going to get Deadpool. So, besides that, yeah, they've been unsuccessful in getting it to bond to other people. So, that is interesting. Yeah. even X-23, it's not over her whole skeleton, right?
No, I don't think it. Oh, it is, but it's not as deep or something. I forgot. I just read it too, and I forgot how it works. It's like it was kind of like added later or something weird.
Yeah, which is interesting because she's a clone, so it should be able to do the same thing, right?
Well, oh, you mean like do the same process? But isn't everyone dead? Can they repeat the process?
Oh, that's true. They might not be able to.
I think that's
the
what
process.
makes her different. They couldn't really repeat the process.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's like her bones are coated with it, but not like Wolverine's bones are like they are metal now or something like that now, because it's like it was like injected into him, and like I think hers is like they're coated with it or something.
Okay, something like that.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But yeah, and you guys got anything else to say about Wolverine: The Long Night?
No, I think just it was overall pretty good, and I'm looking forward to the second season.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't find it. I mean, it kept you intrigued the whole time, So I thought it was good, and I mean, I'm really happy that there is a season 2 that they're going to be working on. So I'm going to be looking forward to that.
Yep, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. All right, so at this point, we're going to talk about our superhero battle royale. So this idea came because, there's not a lot to talk about in the movie world right now. So we came up with the idea to get just random superheroes and, comic characters, TV shows, movies, things like that. And we'll pick them at random and we'll have them fight each other in a random spot. So Donna was in charge of picking who went against who and where they fought. And then she gave each one of us a group of people to choose from. And then we came up with who we think would be the winner and roughly how we think they win. So I figured we'll go through this. It should be fun. If you guys have any ideas, you can always comment down below in the comment section and say what you think.
This on YouTube?
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, I'm like, how are you supposed to comment on our non-comment wall?
Yeah, so, oh, yeah, you said our non-comment wall. Yeah. I don't know. I'll set up a email or something. Whatever. Hopefully, you'll be able to comment and let us know what you think and who should win and how. But we'll go around. Let's start with the former employee of 3D Rivals. Derrick, who did you have and what did you come up with?
Well, I had Wolverine and James Bond as the battle, and it was given the location of a burning building. So yes, initially, first thought is Wolverine will win this battle pretty easily.
First thought, Wolverine has to win this battle. There's no way. Like, I know James Bond. That was a good fight, actually, Wolverine, James Bond. But
Wolverine can't be killed.
Yeah, and then James Bond always gets beat up.
True.
Always. So
I mean, unless there's a girl to give him the super secrets to the whatever, he loses.
And but you know what? Q probably gave. Oh well, let's see what you came up with first. Let's see what you came up with first, Derrick.
So what I came up with, and I mean, it was a whole like mini story almost a little bit that James Bond was on a mission looking for this guy that was causing havoc in Japan. And his name is James Howlett. And he got debriefed by M to look for this guy. Hey, wouldn't that be a start of a James Bond movie?
Okay, yeah. So when do they get into a burning building?
So I figured that, James Bond always have a running chase scene. So he's at a casino.
Of course.
And it's supposed to be this guy that actually knows who James Howlett is. And so when James Bond goes to him and asks about him, the guy gets scared because he's like, dude, no one's supposed to know who this guy is. This guy is dangerous. he has killed so many people. He's ruthless or whatever. And James Bond like, no, you need to tell me. And then he runs off, and James Bond ends up chasing this guy.
You put a lot of work into this.
You did.
I think you're going to be rehired part-time just because you put a lot of work into this. I definitely did way less work. But okay, yeah, continue your story.
All right, so long story short, they end up in this building, and Wolverine happens to be there too. And this building is part of some secret government agency or whatever, and they're trying to hide their tracks. So the building blows up, and of course, the different floors and stuff is on fire. Hence, on how they get to a burning building.
So does the building blow up or catch fire?
Or is there a bomb in the building that causes a fire?
It was a bomb in the building that causes a fire.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Darren.
You're very much welcome.
So, in the midst, James Bond is looking for this guy, as people are running out of the building. But Wolverine, part of his powers, he can smell and sense, people. So he knew that James Bond was coming. And so then when they finally meet, James Bond thinks that this guy is just a normal, human. But, when Wolverine's claws retract, then he's just like, okay, no, this dude is something different about this dude. And so they both basically is like they're both there for the same cause, but they don't know that. And so they ended up fighting each other.
And Wolverine cut his head off.
Basically.
I was going to have like Wolverine, he held back a little bit because he really didn't want to kill the guy because he felt that this guy, James Bond, wasn't a threat.
He doesn't have to kill him, just...
Right. Well, he said cut his head off. You don't live from that, James Bond.
So how does he win?
How does Wolverine win?
Yeah.
Wolverine does end up cutting him with his claws.
I would say, if you say he ended up cutting his head off, I'm like, dude.
No, I wasn't going to get it all like that. I didn't want James Bond to get beat up so badly.
Okay.
So I made it like, a little closer of a battle. But, of course, Wolverine is way much stronger and powerful and a ruthless fighter. And as Darren said, James Bond gets beat up a lot. Yes. So Wolverine does end up beating him and slashing him. So James Bond does have a few cuts on him, end up passing out. But instead of leaving him in the building to die, he carries him out of the building, but Wolverine still wins the battle.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I would go that route. Yeah, there's no way James Bond wins.
No, he doesn't win at all. I just tried to have factors in there that would make it close as possible. Q gave him a bunch of gadgets and stuff. Shooting gas from his watch and something crazy or something like that.
No, I feel like because James Bond always gets the gadgets that he needs for whatever mission, surprisingly, it just so happened that he needed that. So Q gave him an adamantium bullet, a gun with adamantium bullets in it, because for whatever reason. So in that case, maybe James Bond could win.
See, Darren, I like how you think, because you're right. Q be like, hey, we coat these bullets in this extra strong metal. Nothing can stop them. James Bond wins the fight. You gotta think outside the box, Derrick.
Y'all just talked about me talking about something. I know James Bond didn't win, and then y'all just came up with a way where he can win.
Well, that's what I thought.
Critical thinking. That's okay. You came up with a real nice story and all. That's cool. But he is always prepared. For no reason at all. It's not like he's Batman.
Oh, no.
He shouldn't be prepared.
He's just like Batman. The utility belt has everything, and James Bond has everything. Everything is in the car.
It is in the car.
Everything's in the car.
That's true. Does he get an adamantium car, too?
Why not?
Yeah, probably. I don't think that could drive, but, whatever.
I did have Wolverine drive off in his Aston Martin, though. So I was like, not only did he beat up James Bond, but he takes his car.
Does he take the girl, too?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. So it could go either way, but I think Wolverine should win that fight. So
I will say 90% of the people will say Wolverine will win that battle.
yeah.
I agree.
So, okay, Donna, who did you have and what did you come up with?
Okay, unlike Derrick, I did not write a novella about this. However, I did Ryu versus the Green Ranger in a hallway.
The Netflix hallway?
The Netflix hallway.
Oh.
So this is the hallway scenes that always show up in the Marvel Netflix series.
Yes, there was a hallway scene, although it was very short and brief. Because even though Green Ranger is strong and he has powers and he knows karate or whatever they be doing in that cartoon / TV show, whatever, he's only strongest when he can bring out his Zord. However, you're in a hallway and the Zord can get to you. And Ryu is the better fighter and he can throw fireballs out of his hand. Ryu wins.
So let's explain. It's Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yes, for those who don't know who Ryu is, from Street Fighter, the main character of this video game that came out in 1987.
There is more than one Ryu.
Not evil Ryu, regular Ryu.
I know. I'm saying there are more than one characters with the name Ryu.
No, there's only two, regular and evil.
That's for Street Fighter, but there's other characters
Who else
in
is
other
named Ryu?
canons.
I don't know. Somebody might not have known, so I just wanted to point out that
from
it was from
Street Fighter, created for video games.
Because I'm pretty sure there's an anime out there with a guy named Ryu.
Whatever. He wins.
Yeah, it's called a Street Fighter anime.
I can't stand it. We're trying to stop.
All right, finish.
So, but okay, I feel you on that. In the hallway, if we just keep him confined, Ryu wins. He throws a Hadouken down the hallway. You can't.
Oh, that's what
you
it's
can't
called?
dodge out of the
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Huh?
I didn't know that's what it was called.
But what about the Green Ranger shield? His shield doesn't block the Hadouken?
The what now?
The who?
You've played this game, right? Hadouken. What? Lord. I know Japanese is not your first language. However, it's not a hard word.
Somebody has to be the Kabali, really.
It's not you.
Oh, man. Okay, so, yeah, I do feel like, all right, so, Donna, if he throws it down the hallway, Green Ranger can't dodge it.
No, there's nowhere to go. His shield, I feel like he's strong, but he's not stronger than that.
Yeah.
And then, you figured, this is the Power Rangers, right? They only use the good stuff at the last resort. So he's getting it handed to him because Ryu's like, he's dedicated to his fighting skill. This is what he do all day long.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's no way, like, looking at the Power Rangers, there's no way he lands a hit.
He doesn't land a hit.
Yeah.
So it's just like, he's done for. Like, honestly, he probably don't even have to throw that at him. Like, he just wins hand-to-hand combat. You lost.
One question. Yeah. When Ryu hits the Green Ranger, does sparks fly off?
Of course. Of course. It's not Power Rangers if it's not sparks.
And when Green Ranger walks down the hall before the fight, does the Go Green Ranger song plays?
Yes. And see, he tried to get out his little thing so he can call his thing, and he just got slapped out his hand.
Oh, he doesn't get the flute out.
He doesn't
Okay,
get
because
the
I was going to
flute.
say, that's one way he can win. I know they're in the hallway. But if he gets that flute out,
Nah, he tried. It was like in his pocket. It was in his pocket. He tried to whip it out, and dude just like, nah, bruh, lights out, done deal.
Because then the Dragon Zord can just, crush the building. And...
The whole building, you think?
Yeah.
I feel like
The
he's.
Zord is taller than the building.
I feel
They're
like
huge.
the hallway is center building, so he got to take a little while to get there.
So it's got to be the center of the building. All right, fine. It's the center of the building.
It's the center of the building, so
All right.
he got some ways to go before he get there, and then old boy lost the fight before he got there.
We got to get some sound effects thrown in there. Green Ranger, when he's kicking and stuff, he's got to be like, see, Ryu doesn't make noise.
No, he doesn't. It's just Hadouken.
Sure, you can. Does he throw one of those? That's the little uppercut thing.
Dude, that would have been so sweet.
That was the finishing move.
And
yeah.
then the final sparks come out the suit.
And then he falls on the ground and then his suit disappears. That's perfect. That's perfect.
That's perfect. And then a voice comes, Ryu wins.
That's perfect. Okay, I think you're right about that. Green Ranger can't win that fight.
And then at the end of Street Fighter, like they always have the words with the talking junk at the end. At the end, Ryu would be like, "If you were more dedicated to your craft, you would have beat me."
That's probably what he definitely says.
Right, because what is the Green Ranger? Just some high school gymnast?
Well, remember, he's what Rita gave power to so that he can beat the Power Rangers.
Right.
And he was single-handedly beating them.
Yes, he was.
So, I mean, dude's pretty legit, but he can't beat Ryu.
No. All right. It's cool.
I like that. Mm-hmm. So we all agree that Ryu beats Green Ranger very easily.
Yes.
Very easily. These fights
are very one-sided.
They have been one-sided so far.
Well, I mean, I had other choices, but I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, so now we have mine, which is interesting. So I had Jason Bourne versus Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
Oh! This should be interesting. Guys, get your popcorn.
I know what you guys are thinking. There's no way Jason Bourne wins this, right?
What?
Well, Jason Bourne wins, okay?
Who was thinking he lost?
So he's in a sewer.
Well, that's the end of Captain Planet.
So I figured, like, okay, so they're in the sewer. They always start as the Planeteers. And then Fire, I don't remember their names, so I'm just going to call them by their powers.
Okay.
So you got the Fire and Wind, they're the most high-headed, so they go after him first, But I figure their powers mix with the methane in the sewer. It causes an explosion, knocks everybody back. But, of course, Jason Bourne dips to the side because...
The side of what?
There was a little opening in the sewer.
Okay.
There's always an opening.
There was always an opening, so he avoids the explosion because he's Jason Bourne, okay? So then, Water, they all try to fight him, but, he's too much for him. He beats him up. We didn't get to the good parts yet. So then, so they combine their powers, they call it out. Fire, earth, water, whatever. Of course, heart's there.
We know how you feel about hearts.
Yeah, it's not a real power. And so, Captain Planet comes out. So, Captain Planet's all super strong, he can fly and stuff. So, he flies at Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne picks up a trash can lid, which happens to be in the sewer for whatever reason.
How big is this sewer? You fighting?
It's a big sewer. They got to fight in it, okay?
Okay.
It's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sewer.
Yeah, like that.
All right.
So, I figured it would be like, the ones where they have the ledges on both sides and like a stream of sewage in the middle.
Huh?
Okay.
You've seen those in movies and video games and stuff. Okay,
In real
whatever.
life?
I know what you're talking about. We forget that Donna is a civil engineer. So there's no waterfall in the sewer.
Forget your civil engineering for a second, okay?
Okay.
All right, so Captain Planet flies at him and he blocks him with the trash can lid. And since the trash can lid has some sewage on it, it weakens Captain Planet. So Jason Bourne realized this, and so, they start fighting hand in hand, and he uses the trash can lid to beat up Captain Planet.
Why not just throw water in his face?
Because it's more fun to beat him up with a trash can lid.
Okay.
Plus, I needed an object. You put me in a sewer, and, there's no objects down there, so...
Yeah, they're not trash can lids. I could have gave you objects.
All right, I got it. Fine. So there's a chicken bone in the sewer. And so after he beats him up with the trash can lid, Captain Planet's still up. So he picks up the jagged chicken bone and he fights him with that, and he cuts Captain Planet with the bone. So that was the end of Captain Planet. Now the Planeteers are still left. Because they had to be around to call Captain Planet. So
hold on. How are we getting 5 people in this sewer?
it's a big sewer. Leave your civil engineering mess. You the one gave me the sewer. I would have picked a different place.
It was randomized. God.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're still around. So now he has to fight them hand to hand. Now none of them can fight. So this is real quick. And then, of course, Heart's the last one. And he's like, my friends, and he uses his heart ring to try to communicate with them, but it doesn't work because that's his only power is a comm system because he's stupid. So then Jason Bourne picks up the trash can lid again and beats Hart.
With a trash can lid.
With a trash can lid because I really dislike Hart because it's stupid and Jason Bourne wins.
Okay.
Right? So, of course, Jason Bourne wins that.
Yes, he does.
All right. Thank you. All right. So we had, those are 3 fights. We had Wolverine versus James Bond, which is an interesting fight. That was good. And then, Donna, you had Green Ranger versus Ryu, which is also an interesting fight. I had the worst, honestly.
You could have chose any 3. No one told you to choose that one.
Yeah, but I think it was the best one.
Hold on. What was your choices? Let me look this up.
What choices did you give me?
One moment, please. You had Magneto and Nightcrawler.
Yeah, but Magneto Nightcrawler happens in the comics all the time.
That's why I didn't do mine.
Yeah, I'm like, that's uninteresting.
Yeah, my other one was like Batman and Deathstroke, which I know you're talking about how I ended up with Batman.
Yeah, you gave yourself Batman. We understand.
It randomly gave me, it also gave me Deathstroke, and I'm like, that's like an everyday fight.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, I didn't choose. First of all, Magneto wins against Nightcrawler, and that happens all the time. So,
Yes.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, yours kind of sucked.
Thank you. What was my second choice?
Sonic versus the Sentinels.
Yeah, like, okay, so Sonic versus Sentinels, I was like, I could do that, but I don't know how to go about that.
It was also a car chase.
Which makes no sense.
Sonic can be in a car.
Why would Sonic be in a car?
Because he runs faster than a car.
The locations was also randomized. Some was better than others.
So I picked Captain Planet versus Jason Bourne in the sewer.
Okay.
Which was still pretty good. I had fun because I got to beat up Hart.
Yes.
Yes, with a trash can lid. And Captain Planet loses to a chicken bone. So, for you, those of you who don't know, Captain Planet's weakness is pollution. So basically, if you have any kind of pollution, you can beat Captain Planet.
Basically.
Alrighty, so we'll probably do that again in the future, but, no time soon. Maybe in a few months we'll revisit the Superhero Battle Royale, and we'll do some more. In the meantime, we'll talk about some other things next week. But if you did enjoy listening to the podcast, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe or get the RSS feed so you can listen to us whenever we post a new podcast. And as always, thanks for listening. And this is going to be 3D Rival signing out.
Good night.
This is Derrick saying good night and go Browns. Go Browns.
One year.
Oh my God, you're definitely fired. Stop bringing the Browns. No one cares about the Browns.
No one does.
No one does.
The Browns don't care about the Browns.